Sometimes we forget why we're here. It's easy to fall off track. These help us remember. Sometimes we forget why we're here. It's easy to fall off track. These help us remember.
These battle scars don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battles.
Growing up I had a dream, something no one else could see. Tell me what it means when your faith is falling beneath your knees and you can't breathe. Everything you see reminds you of what you're not or something you won't be. You gotta take what you're given, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians and choose to be an accountant because it's safe in a business. Not because they wanna do it, just because they heard it pays. And who the fuck wants to be poor knowing that's how we've been raised? Society is getting heavy, I can feel the weight. The pressure of success is like 100 million pounds of shame. And that's the reason I'm staying up late, trying to find a way to escape the stereotypes this day and age is making me feel like the only way I'll be happy is getting signed to a label and making money through rapping. I wanna share my emotion because this world is attacking the very principle of life that lets the people be happy. If you don't have a reason to breathe, why even live? These battle scars are impressions of everything that it is.
Don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battle scars don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battles.
Now if I had a voice that reached 100 million people, I'd tell them there's a reason that we're all created equal. Cause some decide to be great and some decide a sequel to an average person's life is simply what they want to be. So you make your decision, all I know is what I'm given. Won't define the life I lead or the way I dwell in existence. I've seen a greater image on the walls of where I'm living, and the words twisted and scripted remind me of something written. Faith is a gift that is given down to the people. If one believes it, one receives it. It's given if it is needed. Don't ever think you're trapped in a life that you never wanted. Your options are infinite, that's some mathematical logic. I'm not saying I'm a prophet, I'm speaking for what it's worth. These lyrics define my prayers and these battle scars on my church. Not saying I'm a prophet, I'm speaking for what it's worth. These lyrics define my prayers, these battle scars on my church.
Don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battle scars don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battles.
Well, hello everyone. How are you doing? And I still don't like this lighting. It makes, let me try turning this off. It makes me look very orange. Yeah, that's better. It's this light I have. I love this little Statue of Liberty thing I have, but the lighting is just not good. And I do need some better studio. Was that a leak? Did you see that? Something came down from the ceiling there. I don't know. Just a weird night. Hopefully y'all can hear me. I am live, quite obviously. I would have edited that all out. So if you are new to this channel, I would really appreciate a subscription. I am trying to find my little cues here. I don't have my old lady glasses on. So yeah, here it is. Please subscribe, like, and share. I would really appreciate it. We're not going to press that point, even though you will make baby Jesus cry. You can follow me on Twitter. I am Karen Ann Harlos on Twitter. And my Twitter has been exploding these past couple days. I don't know why. Like, I went from like 30,000 to nearly 32,000 like in a couple days. One of my posts must have went, I'm not going to call it viral because getting a couple likes isn't viral, but a lot more than I normally get. And last but not least, and here's where I really do need your help. I've made some people unhappy with me. I know, that's so not like me. And I'm so repentant. No, but just kidding. I'm not kidding about the not repentant thing, because I do what is right. I'm not always right when I do what I think is right, but one thing you can be sure about me is that when I'm doing it, I believe it's the right thing to do. And there's not much more you can ask from a person. But that costs me. If I wanted to be a huge YouTuber, I know how to do it. I know all the little tricks you could do to get hundreds of thousands of subscribers, but I've got to be true to me. So if you like what I do, which is niche, which is unusual, which sometimes isn't the most popular thing, please support me on Patreon at patreon.com/Pink Flame of Liberty. Some people, I saw that again. Do we have a leak? Because I'm in the basement, if you don't know, and I'm in an unfinished basement. So the pipes are up. So I'm going to be keeping an eye out. If you see me keep looking up, it's because I just saw something else fall from the ceiling. And yes, it just happened again. We have a leak. Did you just see that again? You guys are getting to see in live time. Hold on one second. There is a leak. I can't reach that tall, but I think I see condensation. I will have to I'm probably going to have to wake Wayne up and let him know that yes, there's a leak here. So you got to see a leak live in a basement studio. But, oh yeah, look. You can't tell, but my finger's wet. I want to keep my equipment away from this. I am going to... That is not... That... And it's not just in one place. It's in many places. I'm sorry. I would normally edit all of this out, but it's not. The leak's not coming from just here. It's coming from over there, and it looks like the ceiling might be bending a little there. I am going to have to wait, but we're going to stop talking about my leak now. Talking about a live leak to a whole new level. That was a really good one, Zoggy Darthan. That was a good one. Okay, so what I wanted to talk about tonight, and I'm sorry, I had made kind of a pledge that I was going to save my little rants to the end of the show. So stay to the end of the show. I'm just seeing where else there's water down here. Stay to the end of the show if you want to hear a little bit of LP stuff. But this show is going to be more about local activism. I don't get to do as much as I'd like to do, but I do try. And if you want to help me fix my house leak, patreon.com/Pink Flame of Liberty, or super chats and super thanks always matter. It's starting to get worse. Right above here, I'm trying to think of my house. There's the kitchen. I think the kitchen's way over there, so I don't even know what is up here that would be causing it, but I think we need to turn our water off in the house until we figure this out. But so I don't get to do as much local activism as I tend to. As some of you know, I did a full town council run, meaning that I ran to win. I ran, oh, that's not good. I ran it to win it. And I didn't win it. Republican Max Brooks beat me. But I do go to town council meetings when there is something of interest. I should go to each and every one, and maybe in the future when I have more time, I will. But I like to play for you guys the public comment. Whenever they see me coming, they know, oh boy. If you ever watch that old that old Xena episode when Callisto gets the food of the gods and she turns around and her eyes are like, here comes trouble. That's exactly what it is. So let's get right to the video. Let me give you the backdrop. I'm always irritated at the town council, not just because they're government, and I'm always irritated at government, but because we want to try alternative voting schemes here in Colorado. And there's several ways to get things onto the ballot. You can petition it onto the ballot, or the town council can refer it to the ballot. Wayne, my husband, it's getting worse. That was a big drip. Wayne, my husband, successfully, I'm moving everything out of the way of where that, oh look, it's on my microphone stand and everything. Wayne had successfully petitioned onto the ballot an elected mayor. And we won. We won that petition. He went out. He got the signatures with another group. It wasn't just him. And they won that. So I want RCV for Castle Rock. I've asked the town council over and over to just refer it to the ballot. Let the voters decide. Why are you going to make us spend thousands and thousands of dollars on petitions when you can just refer it? If the voters don't want it, they will vote it down. And one of those bubbleheads actually said to me, and not these exact words, this was about 4 years ago, the voters are too stupid to understand ranked choice voting. But every single time a referendum comes before them to refer to the ballot, whether or not there should be a tax increase, what do you think those bastards do? What do you think they do? Every single time. Nathan's asking me, you're saying structural damage from the leak. I don't know. I'm going to check that all out after the show. I'm thinking I'm seeing a bowing in the flooring, but like way over there. So I'll keep you guys updated. This is my last live show for a while, by the way. I am, and this is what concerns me even more, is I'm out of town. We're going to talk about that. Llama is Bunchy, and Bunchy likes you too. Let's see if we I'm speaking to Rachel. Let's see if we can find Bunchy's little sound here. No, that's new scene. I don't know where my sounds are. Let me see if I can find my Bunchy sound for you, Rachel, because this will be dedicated for you if I can find it. I just, here we go. Is he not playing? That's Bunchy. It's a thing of beauty. Okay, so now that we're done with Bunchy, so Castle Rock is one of the few areas, well, I don't even want to say few, but I know it's one of the areas in Colorado that has a grocery tax. That is one of the most regressive taxes there are out there because it really hurts the people who can afford it the least. And I'm not saying this to brag or anything. I couldn't afford to live here if I had bought in the county I live in right now. But I moved here about 12 years ago. But I live in Douglas County, Colorado. You can look it up. It's the most affluent county in Colorado. I'm not particularly affluent. You guys know that. I could not afford the house I live in now. It was built in 1990s and like not a thing has been done to it since. You know, one of those. Anyway, but I'm very grateful for my house. I'm not putting it down or anything like that. I'm just saying I'm not one of the wealthy of Castle Rock. But most of Castle Rock is very wealthy. At least by most standards. I mean, not like Hollywood standards, but probably compared to almost all of you in the audience, it'd be upper to upper middle class. It is an affluent area. So every time there's a tax increase, the town council just puts it on the ballot every single time. But you peons, you have to petition for everything you want. But anytime we want more money, we always get it. Okay? And we're also supposed to be the reddest county in Colorado. Douglas County is like almost a thoroughly Republican county, even though Colorado is very blue. So just picture this now. It's this picturesque little, the town I live in is beautiful. Look it up. It's a bedroom community. Like, you go on the streets at 8 o'clock and everything's shut down. Like, it's just one of those places. So they voted unanimously to increase, slight increase, it's always a slight increase, isn't it? To increase taxes. Why? Guess why? What is it always? It's for police. It's for fire. The only thing they could have done more is put a little baby on there too. It's for the children. And the graphic is one of those sickening graphics you always see. And the title of it is Public Safety. Because if you're against it, how could you be against public safety? What kind of monster are you? So they already unanimously passed putting this on the ballot in November. It will pass Douglas County because the people who vote yes to pass it are rich people who it won't really impact. But who it will impact is the very minority, not so rich people in Colorado, like myself. And it will also hurt businesses as people start to go, why should I stop in Castle Rock? Why not go to Castle Pines? Why not go to Larkspur? Why not go to somewhere else? And grocery taxes is just obscene. So I'd like to play for you both my husband and I's testimony. We're going to have a little bit of commentary too. I'm looking for the mute button because I get a little weird feedback here until I get good headphones. Too broke for that right now. As I said, I'm not one of the wealthy people. If any of you guys want to buy me a cool set of pink headphones, I've got those Statue of Liberty ones, but they're for kids and they don't get very loud. I'll be happy to take a gift of headphones. But anyway, so Wayne went first. I went second. Normally, during public comment, it's good cop, bad cop. I'm sure you saw that waterfall that time. Normally, that's the way it is. I'm the Spitfire, and he's the good guy. We're going to play the video, Nathan. But Wayne was pissed this time. So, without further ado, I know I've done a lot of talking. And I know I kind of messed up the production of the beginning of this video because the water was distracting me and I was like, what's going on? So I'm going to go to a black screen here for a second and locate file, and I'm going to play this video file for you, and we're going to start and stop it and talk about it.
First up is Wayne Harless.
Thank you, members of council. Is my microphone working? I can't tell. I have a real big problem right now. I understand that the tax increase proposal that will be placed on the ballot in November has been unanimously voted on by the entirety of this council. I have a real issue with that. I lived here in well before and including 2007, 8, 9, and 10. And the town council was able to tighten up their spending so they could survive in an economy where there was not much revenue. This town council, with lots of revenue, can't seem to do that. I'm disappointed in all of you. Every single one of you that has an R in front of your name is lying. You are not a conservative. If you were conservative, you would not have voted for this, and every one of you did. And I got to tell you, I am really disappointed in every single one of you. The people that are going to be hurt most by the tax increase are the people that are struggling the worst. the people that are on fixed incomes, the single mother that can hardly pay her bills because her rent is so high. You don't care about those people. All you care about is a constituency which is in Douglas County, mostly well-heeled people. You don't care about them. If you would care about them, you would have never let this go to the ballot. When it goes to the ballot, it's going to pass. We know it's going to pass because the majority of Douglas County citizens are well-heeled. And it's not going to hurt them. But the people that can't afford it are going to be hurt very badly. This also includes grocery taxes. How could any one of you support an increase in grocery taxes? Those are the people that can't afford it the most. That's the most regressive tax we have, and you're going to increase it? I'm disappointed in every one of you. I think you should, every single one of you should resign. If you're going to run as a Republican or a conservative, you're lying to the public, because you're not. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Wayne. Next,
Back here, you can hear me again. So that isn't like Wayne. If you all have heard Wayne in public comment, he's usually, I'm the Spitfire again. He's the, distinguished council members and, good cop, bad cop. But you saw towards the end there, any of you who know Wayne know that he's very, very mild-mannered. But he was getting pissed off. He was getting pissed off. Now, Wayne and I are both libertarians. We are talking to them as Republicans because that's what they ran as. We are not supportive of Republicans or anything like that, but we had a real progressive board before, which was terrible. And while I am a libertarian in Castle Rock for the spending, I would much rather have conservatives than these really big spend progressives, even though I don't like either of them. I want libertarians. That's why I ran for town council before. We got really disorganized this year and did not run, and we'll talk about that. So now let's do my appearance, okay? If you thought Wayne was going. I do some really very obscure references in here. Those of you who understand my greeting to the town council, I will give you extra points. If you, I think I'm the only one who thinks it's funny. Wayne had no idea what I was talking about. But there's going to be one person out there, it's going to have, if you have something in your mouth right now, take it out, because you are going to laugh your ass off. But very few people are going to understand what I said. But just listen to my greeting to them and see if you recognize it. Otherwise, it doesn't really matter. I doubt any of them got it. But there was a bunch of people there, and I'm sure someone did get it. So I'm looking for, again, my mute button, stop sound, and play sound. No, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for, where is, mute mic. Okay, I found it. Sorry. I found, my program changed. So I'm going to hit mute mic, and we're going to go to my testimony, and that way you won't get feedback.
first up is Wayne Harless.
Thank you, members of council.
That position. Hello, I'm sure you're going.
Thank you, Wayne. Next, I have Karen Ann Harless.
Hello, I'm sure you're going, yippee. The Secretary of the Libertarian Party of Douglas County, my husband you just heard from, was the chair of the Libertarian Party of Douglas County. So, wise masters of Yunkai and good masters of Astropol. I know many of you. Max, saw you just the other day. Vice versa. I ran against you, Max, as did my husband. It was a very good race, and will likely do so again for that position. All of you are alleged conservatives, and I do say alleged because conservatives do not vote to raise taxes unanimously. How can you look yourself in the face, even if sales taxes fall, you tighten your belts. I heard this was a unanimous vote, and shame, shame, shame on every one of you. Each of you up for election in November should lose your seats. The Libertarian Party of Douglas County's, to our own shame, we're not running anyone against you. But, so as a board, we can't advocate any candidate other than a Libertarian one, but our members can. And we're gonna tell our members to give voice with their votes or withholding of their votes. There seems to be 3 terms that you need to learn. One is taxation is theft. As conservatives, I know you don't really understand that, though you claim to. This isn't your money that you do with your little yeses to say that you get to reach into my pocket and take. But maybe something you do understand is the Laffer curve, and that is of diminishing returns. The more you raise taxes, actually, the less you get and the more that people want to be in this town of ours. And also the communist propaganda of private sufficiency and public luxury. What a beautiful town we have, whereas on people's dinner tables, they can't afford food. How dare each and every one of you. We don't have sufficiency. Government is force. You are using force against innocent people. Use it wisely. And I don't thank you. I don't thank you at all for what you're doing.
Thank you, Karen Ann. I have no one else signed to speak. If someone wishes to speak, please approach the podium and speak to the mic.
Okay, I'm going off pause here for a second. So that's typical me. Now that's typical me. I always tell them how government is force and use force wisely. There's a few other things I wish I said, but if you guys did not recognize the wise masters of Yunkai and the brave masters of Astropol, that is a reference to Game of Thrones, which is why the graphic for this is the winged harpy from the Great Pyramid that Daenerys Targaryen was in Game of Thrones. I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan. I almost ended with, and winter is coming. The Starks are always eventually right, but I didn't. Now, the guy we're going to play next is in favor of the increase. Now, I want you to listen really carefully. So he's going to kiss their asses and tell them how grateful he is that they raised their taxes. And I want you to listen in the background, because I say to this man, come and take it from me yourself, you coward. Come to my house and steal from me yourself. And then on the way out, you can barely hear it. But Wayne and I left immediately after public comment because we were so angry. And on the way out, they could see me. The camera didn't catch me. But on the way out in the center aisle, I looked right at them and I did one of those Katniss Everdeen bows and said, "Your Majesties," and then walked on out the door. But every time I walk in there, they know they're about to get a tongue lashing. And the funny thing is, that guy Max, he is... It's hard to, I'm not good with left and right with where you guys are. There's a guy with a blue tie at the end. He's the one next to him who's kind of looking off to the side. He's who I ran against. He's supposed to be a real conservative. He voted for it. But now I'm going to play for you the remainder. But remember, listen closely to me in the background afterwards.
Phone. You have to state your name, whether you are a resident, non-resident, or business owner. You have 3 minutes to speak.
Chuck Coker, I live here in town. I want to thank the council for putting the tax on the ballot, the minuscule tax for the betterment of the town. Thank you.
Thank you, Chuck.
Dare you to come steal it from me yourself.
Speak.
Take it himself.
Speak.
You gotta take what you're given, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians.
Thank you, Keith, that there was no audio. Okay, so now those of you who just wanted to hear that, and I was saying I was a terrible producer by having my ending music and then I stopped it, we're doing the chat time at the end, so that way the people who want the main content can hear it and then skedaddle. Now we're doing the personal stuff, the friendly stuff. So, this is a little local. This is a little inside baseball. I am throwing a little shade. Yeah, Mama is throwing a little shade because we have a certain person here in Colorado who does a lot, who really, really does a lot, but acts like they are the only person that shows up at town council meetings and that they are the only person who does activism. If you go through my channel, you'll see Wayne and I do this quite frequently. We do this tag team. And I would encourage you to as well. Go and check out your town councils, and a lot of times they'll let you download the video like I did here. But yes, I do more. I do more than just walk around and have pink hair. I actually do activism work. And one of my passions, as you heard earlier, was RCV. So one thing I also wanted to let you know, this is going to be my last live in probably a week. I drank that soda too fast. Wayne and I, and thank you. And thank you so much, Chris Baker. And I'll talk to you about that in a minute. We'll do that in this open chat. I do appreciate the super chat, which I will put on the screen in a moment. And I totally lost my train of thought. Oh, so this will be my last live stream probably for about a week. I am going to be doing some pre-recorded shows. So you will have content over this couple of weeks, but I will not be live. It is a confluence of circumstances where Wayne and I get some time off. And if you've ever lived in Colorado and you like to go to the high country, that's what we natives call the mountains. We call it the high country. I'm not a native. I shouldn't have even said that. Wayne's a native. He was actually born in Denver. But what we who live here for a little while, I think after a decade, I've got some bragging rights. We're going to go to the high country. And you have very limited cell signal. You'll find this one spot where maybe you can get an email or a tweet off, but you can't do video or anything like that. So some of you may know, and you shouldn't know, because it's against Roberts, but I didn't break this rule, and I'm not going to break it any more than is necessary. Some of you may know that I'm under inquisition for unnamed crimes. I don't even know what my crimes are. Well, my inquisition appointment is scheduled for tomorrow night. And here's what's really screwed up about that. I gave the LNC notice that I wasn't going to be available this week. And I was offered one night. We're talking about a month-long investigation. I was offered one night. I offered them 6 others. Nope, just this one night. Well, it turns out that I will be able, because I had some dates screwed up, that I will be able to make it. But other than that, you're going to see very, very little of me. If you see emails, it's because I found a hot spot, somewhere up in the mountains. I've got some minutes done tonight. And again, I'm going to be doing some pre-recorded shows. But that is just super, super screwed up. But I will go to my interview. So let's not be sarcastic. I will go to my interview because I have done nothing wrong. Of course, doing nothing wrong doesn't always protect you. But you want to know what? If it gets down to some kind of JC appeal, you will get to hear it all, because our JC rules say everything has to be out in the open and not secret. But up until that point, our rules say things pretty much are secret. So I can make limited allusions to things that are kind of like common knowledge, but I really can't speak anymore. I'm not going to break the rules. I haven't been, and I am not going to break the rules. So let me put that super chat up from Christopher Baker so that I super appreciate. It's kind of big, but he said, can you tell us how or why Chase wasn't on Tim Pool's culture war? What exactly happened? Did they try to work something out with Tim Pool? Thanks. I don't really know the answer to that. I have to tell you honestly, there were some things I was told that I'm not going to repeat now because I'm not sure I believe them. So I don't know. My understanding so far of what I believe is there was a miscommunication. Maybe emails went to the wrong people. You're dealing with volunteers. There was a conflict. The other guest was Jeremy Kaufman, which is going to be the next subject that somebody asked me about. And I do not think neither Chase nor Mike were too crazy about being on a show with Jeremy. Now, I know Mike was eager to come, and then something happened. So I really do not know why. Maybe there will be another invitation. Maybe there will not be. But speaking of Chase, if you are going to be at the Rage Against the War Machine rally on September 18th, I will be there campaigning for Chase and also campaigning against war. I will not be there the next day because, in my opinion, even though I know the LNC members that I care very deeply about, this isn't just to throw random shade. There is some shade thrown, but you know, people can have different opinions. It's just a Trump rally, and you will not catch me dead at a Trump rally. And that might be a really bad, like, dark joke, you know, judging by, you know, some of the stuff that goes on. So Zagi, no super chat, but I'm going to answer it anyway. Zagi asked me, were you talking about any of the Libertarian Party New Hampshire, especially after the stuff they've been saying about Chase Oliver and also Kamala Harris? I do not agree with state affiliates that think that, oh, we get to participate in a national convention and we get to elect a national chair, but if boo-hoo, we lose a certain race, because my state's doing it too, okay? But Chase Oliver will be on the Colorado ballot. No, I think that is extremely wrong. And if a certain affiliate doesn't want to be an affiliate anymore, they should have the testicular fortitude to disaffiliate, choose a different name, and let us go on and be the Libertarian Party of X. And as far as the issue with Kamala Harris, I absolutely condemn that tweet. I know people want to start getting into arguments that, oh, politicians initiate violence, so violence in return, and blah, 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 blah. All of these, how many angels can dance on the head of a pin? You can have those broader libertarian arguments if you wish, but we have something called the non-aggression pledge in the Libertarian Party. And I don't want to hear, well, oh, they initiated aggression. That's not what the pledge is about. I have a whole show on it. If I remember, I'll stick it up in the high bar. Otherwise, just do a search on my channel for the pledge and its meaning. So when you sign up to the Libertarian Party and you sign that membership pledge, yes, of course, it deals with the wider ideological issue that we do not believe in the initiation of force for social or political goals. But that isn't the reason you have to sign the pledge. David Nolan, who wrote the pledge, said why. It is our promise that we will not instigate or advocate for violent insurrection against the government. So if Jeremy Kaufman wants to start making these violent tweets, he needs to do that on his own territory, not from the voice of the party. We are not an insurrectionist party. He does not have the right to bring down the force and the power of the government against us, against our will. He is initiating aggression against us. If he wants to act like that, then he should just go get his own account. But he should have no business anywhere near the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire account. He should be fired is the wrong word because it's a volunteer position, but he should be relieved immediately of that position. And I know Jeremy. He's a nice guy in a lot of ways, but you do not tweet that kind of crap that I absolutely condemn on an official party account. So I hope I made that clear. Nathan says Chase had a prearranged conflict. He might know better than I would. I really do not know. I don't know the status of Tennessee, so I can't speak to Tennessee. Okay, so that looks like it. I know a lot of people have questions about the investigation into me. And again, I'm not going to be able to answer a lot of them. I am going to keep to the rules. But in the meantime, I've got so much I want to do and talk about with Liberty. My show, there was complaining that I do all these shows about the LNC, and I really don't. I make comments here and there. Most of my shows are about Matt Walsh. Like, if I were Matt Walsh's wife, I'd be like, is this old pink-haired lady stalking you or something? So I've got a few shows queued up on Matt Walsh. I want to do a show. Now, this is going to get the juices riling, I am sure. I want to do a show on why legalization is preferable to decriminalization. I know I just triggered a lot of people, and I am also starting my new side business, which is the Pink Parliamentarian, and I'm going to be doing educational shows on that. Mike and I will continue doing the Cult of R.O.N.R., but that's more humorous, and that's more Libertarian Party specific, and we really get into the weeds, and the shows go for hours. My Pink Parliamentarian show is going to be just really short tidbits, and it's going to be advertising my parliamentary business. So that's all we're going to be doing right now. I hope you all have an awesome night. And Christopher, I really cannot even tell you how much I appreciated the super chat. So I'm going to ask one last time, patreon.com/Pink Flame of Liberty. I would really, really appreciate your support. And again, you'll see content from me over the next week, but it's going to be pre-recorded. It's not going to be live. And that's if I even have time to pre-record it before we head out to the mountains. So I hope you have an awesome night. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to go wake up Wayne and ask him to turn off the water until tomorrow morning when he can investigate this pipe leak, because that's not a good thing. I don't want to wake up in the morning and my whole studio's flooded. All right, everyone, I hope you have an awesome night. And now I will do the little closing credits. Mi guapas de libertad.
You gotta take what you're given, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians and choose to be an accountant because it's safe in the business, not because they want to